head coach of the Milwaukee Wave is Giuliano Olivero. He's assisted by Marshall and Nick Porter. Ladies and gentlemen, the members of the Milwaukee Wave.
And welcome to a new year, 2017, here inside the Sears Center. The Chicago Mustangs opening up the new year here in the Sears Center against their arch rival, the Milwaukee Wave. We remember last time the battle we had here in Chicago with the Milwaukee Wave. It's going to be another good one. A little cold outside. Hope you're going to stay warm and enjoy this game with us here tonight. Like I said, the Mustangs versus the Milwaukee Wave. A great time, and here's the video.
One shot, one opportunity. Seize everything you ever wanted. One moment. You capture it. Just let it slip. Let's go! 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, 100% reason to remember the names. 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, 100% reason to remember the
hill at the twilight's last gleaming. Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the lands of the free and the home of the brave.
Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem as sung by Taylor John.
And we're back inside the Sears Center after a short little break there with the intro. The teams out on the field now, getting organized. We know both of these teams very, very well. A good crowd here in the Sears Center. Better crowd this time from Milwaukee coming out. Last time, if you remember, the weather between these two caused a big interference on the way down from Milwaukee for some of the folks here. Now with the weather nice outside, we have a good contingent of Milwaukee fans here. And obviously when it's a good day outside, you know you're going to get a lot of Mustang fans coming to the games here in the Sears Center. Both teams ready to go. You know they get pumped up when these two teams get together. We're going to see some scraps. That's no question about that. And here you go. Here's Milwaukee again. You look at Milwaukee and they always bring a nice jersey here. As you see on the screen, they got yellow. It looks like yellow. If you're here in the stadium, they are wearing lime/neon green, which is kind of funny that it looks different on the screen there. And the Chicago Mustangs wearing their traditional black uniforms. There's a nice split screen by our crew there to see both teams going to their respective benches. Mustangs taking a little longer than usual here, getting pumped up. First game in 2017 in the Sears Center here for the Chicago Mustangs. Taylor Bond doing a great job this year, as we all know about him. Ian Bennett for the Milwaukee. I'm so used to saying Ian Bennett in the Chicago team. It's unbelievable, but Ian Bennett and the Milwaukee Wave, he is just on a scoring tear of late, scoring, I believe it's 13 goals in 2 games against the Chicago Mustangs. 2 goalies right there as we see on our screen. Jesus Flores was out here earlier coaching the MASL Premier teams. He's ready for the real deal now. Coach Gamboa all ready to go, giving high fives to fans before the game starts. He's loose and he's ready to go. Lemos, the goalie, again here for the Milwaukee Wave. If you remember correctly, Lemos was stealing the show here last time against the Mustangs, diving all over the place. It was a shootout between him and Jesus Flores for top sheriff in town. Jesus Flores with the ball at his feet. New year, something hasn't changed though. Jesus Flores having the ball at his feet. Pee Wee Ortega always seems to rise to the occasion when he plays against the Milwaukee Wave. And the Wave really all about the fast start here in the Sears Center. They really like to get out to a quick start if they can, take the momentum right away from the Mustangs. There has been a lot of bad blood against these teams, especially this year. There have been some things on and off the field that both teams definitely did not like about each other, and that's just to be expected in between this rivalry that is probably the strongest indoor rivalry for the past 10 to 12 years at least. Chicago versus Milwaukee. Fans don't like each other. Teams don't like each other. It's a true rivalry. There's no friendships on these teams here. These guys are bad blood back and forth to each other. And even when Milwaukee was playing in Rockford, I'll even extend it, there was a huge rivalry in between Rockford and Milwaukee as well. That's the biggest storyline anytime these two teams play each other. And there's a Milwaukee fan getting the ball almost right in the face by Jesus Flores, which there was no ill intent on that one, obviously. Lemos now playing it down, all the way downfield, and a great little play there by the Mustangs to take full advantage. Again, taking the ball away. Possession early in this game, only 2 minutes in. Very even, 50-50 on the possession, no doubt about that. Bond letting it go for Martinez. Wheelo to Camarena. Camarena getting his shot blocked right there by Nelson. And here comes the attack with Renaud taking the ball away, but there was a whistle behind the play, and it's going to be a free kick for the Mustangs. Ephraim Beard trying to take more of a leader. He's been a leader all year, but wants to take a stronger leadership role on this team for the Mustangs going into 2017. That's one of his resolutions of the year, becoming an even stronger leader on what he is already for the Mustangs. So look for him to have a really solid game tonight and really throw his body around and be physical with this Milwaukee Wave team, which is, like I said, known to be very physical against the Mustangs. Ball in the corner. There's a physical play right there. A solid indoor soccer play from all parties involved in the far corner. Now Jesus Flores has the ball, giving it to Pee Wee Ortega as he rolls it out. Pee Wee does pretty much anything you ask of him on this team. He'll block a shot, he'll score a goal, he'll be the sixth attacker. You put him anywhere, he's like the Swiss Army knife of this team. He has many different functions, and he does them all well. Ferdinand. Just another great player for Milwaukee. I mean, we can go down the list, and Milwaukee has great player after great player. That's what makes this such a great rivalry once again, that every time Chicago and Milwaukee get together, both teams have the best players in the league. There's never a game where it's not competitive. Ortega and Flores with Loki closer to, I don't know if Loki is ever 100%. He's always battling out there. But today it looked like he was closer. I'd like to say 100%, but you know, probably at best 95% usually is as far as we get Loki Latowski, and that's because he puts his body on the line for this team game in and game out. Now he's talking about a deflection, thinking it's a Mustangs ball. Both refs come together, talk about where the ball should be placed, and it's going to be Milwaukee ball. Ruggles dropping it back for Ferdinand. Ferdinand going one-on-one. And that's Negro right there with a great play. As he gets more used to this indoor game, I'm telling you, he's become quicker on the indoor surface. He's seen the bounces on the indoor surface. And now here comes Taylor Bond. Playing it off to Dos Santos, and Dos Santos takes the early lead for the Mustangs, and you can see how much this one means to the Mustangs. Taylor Bond wearing the captain armband all year, getting his boys pumped up. What a great breakout by Ortega. Ruggles, who hardly gets beat to the outside, gets beat by Bond. Bond with the outside of his right foot, getting it right over to Douglas Dos Santos, a guy we usually see on the back end, but Coach Gamboa putting him up in a forward position, and all he had to do was place it in a perfect spot. Dos Santos autographing that t-shirt, throwing it to the fans, and the Mustangs, most importantly, take the lead 1-0 here in the Sears Center over the Wave. Milwaukee Wave really good at responding quick to goals. Usually within about 2 minutes, they're right back in it and tying this game. So let's see how they respond, which should be pretty interesting. Mustangs got to keep doing what they're doing. They're breaking out nicely. Negro was all over that last play, being in different spots all over the field. Like I said, he is learning where to be at all times on the indoor field. There is an adjustment. There is definitely adjustment from an outdoor player coming to an indoor game, no matter how good you are. We've seen it before with many players, or one of the world's best players of all time, Ronaldinho, was here just last year, and he was playing an indoor soccer game, and just watching him play and trying to figure out the bounces of the indoor game and the smaller field of the indoor game and the line changes, he was even lost on how to play the game himself. And that's one of the best outdoor players of the world coming to the indoor game. Now Wheelo with Lemos all over him. This is danger for Milwaukee. And Camarena takes down Ferdinand. But that was close right there. Milwaukee Wave a little sloppier than we usually see Milwaukee. Milwaukee usually right on it. Sharp as the sharpest knife in the kitchen. And right now, just not working out for them. The high pressure defense of the Mustangs causing turnovers. Taylor Bond, nothing he could do there. When he received that ball, he got attacked right away, and the counter is on. And what a save by Jesus Flores. There was that counter goal that Milwaukee was looking for. They don't waste any time. Now they slow down and set it up. The bench from Milwaukee, a lot of yelling coming from there, trying to figure something out. And a bad touch by Bennett, something we don't usually see. A turnover that was trying to be a dump, but turnover at midfield. Now, oh, wow. Jesus Flores misplaying that one off the boards. It goes around now. Lemos again with the ball at his feet. He's at midfield. He's going to dump it down in the corner, try to find Ian Bennett, but the ball goes out of bounds. Ian Bennett, frustrated early in this game, not getting enough touches. Ian Bennett is a high touch player. You need to give quantity to him, and there it is. He passed it off, and there's a goal by the Milwaukee Wave, and Ferdinand gets the ball right from Ian Bennett, makes no mistake, and there you go. Milwaukee Wave with the quick counter goal, and this is how tonight's going to be. It's going to be back and forth. Mustangs restart now with Pee Wee Ortega. Getting the ball deflected to Jesus Flores. Jesus Flores dumped down to Rojas. Here comes Vaca, who was named the Player of the Week team last week for the MASL. Had a huge game against the Rampage, where the Mustangs came back and won 7-5. Huge win to make your Mustangs 6-3. Ruggles, just one of those players that has the speed, the size, a perfect build for the indoor game. He can also play down low, up top, wherever you want him to play, he'll find a good spot on that field. And he causes so many mismatches that I believe Taylor Bond would be the guy that you want to put on Ruggles. I mean, Bond and Ruggles all night would be a great great matchup. And as we watch this free kick here, a couple different shimmy shakes, and that goes right into the wall. Norman, thanks for coming over. How you doing this year?
I'm doing pretty good. Happy New Year to the folks out there. It's a pleasure being here once again watching the Mustangs.
Indeed it is. Good game once again. I've been talking about the rivalry between Chicago and Milwaukee like I always do. Reason I like to is because it's always a fun thing to touch on, always a fun thing to talk about. And so far, a 1-1 game, nothing. We wouldn't expect anything else.
So far, it's an exciting game. One of the things is that, this year, Chicago has not been able to beat Milwaukee yet. And
Yes.
Obviously, Chicago wants to change that tonight. But, both teams are hungry. They're definitely hungry because in this division, it's a tight division, and there's 3 teams that are 2 games away from tying the first-place team.
Well, and there is another goal by Ferdinand Ruggles, putting it right on the foot of Ferdinand, making it an easy deflection, and now we are back to a lead for Milwaukee, 2-1. And this is the thing here about Milwaukee. We score a goal, and for some reason, right away, it seems as if they score a counter goal within 1 to 2 minutes of our goal. And they seem to build up that momentum for a few goals, and then we get caught behind, unfortunately. This is why this timeout is really huge right now for the Mustangs.
Yeah, one of the things that you have to give credit to Milwaukee is that, in the league, they're the second team with the highest goal-scoring percentage. They've scored 70 goals, and they're only second to the Rampage, which are our number 1 team, which have scored 72. So whenever Milwaukee plays, there's always going to be goals out there, and you can count on that, and we're seeing that right away.
Yeah, as I was saying that Ian Bennett was looking frustrated on the field, not getting a lot of touches. Of course, he causes a turnover. When he has the ball on his foot, he makes something happen, and that was ending up to be the assist of the first goal. And that's one guy you don't want to get hot, because once he gets hot, there's no you can't put out that fire.
Yeah, one of the things with Ian Bennett is that he's a top goal scorer in the league right now. With these 2 goals, he's got 33 goals right now. And the thing is that with Max Ferdinand and Robert Renaud supporting him, and they communicate well. So if they can, what the Fire needs to do is they need to shut those 2 guys down and keep an eye on Renaud in order to have success tonight.
Yeah, it's another great thing about this rivalry, and it's been like this from day one. Both Milwaukee and Chicago, and even when there was a Rockford team, here's another shot that goes just not missing on the near side, and then a foul. Lucky right there for the Mustangs, almost caught out of position. But as I was saying, you look at all these teams, and they're always stacked on the rosters. Talent from top down, and here comes Dos Santos again. Trying to play it off the boards to Bond. Bond with the shove in the back, and there's a foul. But the way you were reading these stats right here, I'm not. You can insert player name A, B, C, D, and go on through the alphabet, and they're all going to be top scorers in the league. It just, the talent, it's unbelievable.
Right. And people tend to also focus on the scoring, but also there's some guys that are very good on assist, and that's very important because if you know where to place the ball, you know who to pass it to the open guy, that makes a big difference too.
Bennett and Ruggles right there, 2 guys, like you said, the assist, really important. Those were 2 tap-in goals so far for Milwaukee because of 2 great setups.
Yeah, and what Chicago needs to do is they need to shut down Max Ferdinand and Robert Renaud, because Ferdinand's the leader with assists right now for Milwaukee. And if you could shut those 2 guys down and keep an eye on Bennett, I think we could do pretty well tonight.
That's asking a lot of Ephraim Beard and Pee Wee Ortega, but those are 2 guys that love that type of challenge. Vaca now getting harassed down below by Trammell. And then we got a foul, and Vaca again upset here, looking for a foul on Trammell. No call.
Yeah, this game can get intense pretty quick because of the rivalry here. Like I said, Chicago has not been able to beat Milwaukee this year right now. They're 0-2 against Milwaukee. And Chicago right now, they're on a one-game winning streak, and I know that they want to take it to a 2-game winning streak, especially at home.
Yeah, this is a big way to start the year at home for the Mustangs. 2017 in the Sears Center. They want to make it an even better year than 2016, which was still a great year.
Yeah, and Chicago, their last game, they beat the Rampage, which is the #1 team right now in the Central Division, and they're 3-0 against the Rampage right now, but Milwaukee's a tough team for them for some reason.
Yeah, that tiebreaker, if it gets down to it, will definitely be one wacky tiebreaker. You know, the top team in the Rampage, 3-0, the Mustangs are, but possibly could be 0-3, hopefully not, against Milwaukee. It's so weird how that works, and you break that down. You'd think that the Mustangs, with the talent they also have, would at least win one of these games, and tonight might be that night. We still have a long way to go with 4:20 to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, we still have a long way to go, and this game might be important, you know, because we still have 10 more games left in the season, and this is the last time Chicago's going to play against Milwaukee at home. The last game of the season is going to be against Milwaukee in Milwaukee,
right.
So they need to take this right now.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. This only really being the halfway point of the season. It feels like we've been announcing games here for months already, and yet we're not even halfway through the season. Just goes to show you what type of grind these teams go through here in the MASL. Good block by Wheelo in the corner, and now we got another foul away from the ball. Camarena taking down, it looks like Rampa was the player that he took. Tenzin Rampa down on the turf, now back up. Ruggles and Bennett. How about this crowd tonight, Norman?
Oh, you know what? Every time we come in here, the crowd's always into it. You know, we hear the drums, we see the flags. You know, it's really good to have indoor soccer here in Chicago in the winter.
The home opener was packed, but I think this one puts it over the top. I think this is our highest. And here's a breakaway, and it hits the crossbar. Hine trying to chip it over with a little finesse, and he hits the crossbar. That crossbar has been busy this year.
It's been very busy, and we've been lucky with that crossbar because, like I said, I mean, Milwaukee's a team that can score goals. I mean, Milwaukee has scored 70 goals this season, you know, which is only second to the leaders, the Rampage.
And that's compared to the 58 right there that the Mustangs have scored. And Mustangs, I mean, let's be honest, this is a high-powered offense that we're so used to seeing score goals.
Right. What Chicago needs to do is they really need to shut down where's the name? I lost my notes here, but they really need to shut down Ian Bennett and put a lot of pressure on him because he's their top goal scorer. And Robert Renaud and Max Ferdinand, they're also goal scorers, but they're also very good at distributing the ball.
Milwaukee they don't have specific players. We look at some other teams, we say, oh, they got this big guy in the middle that they like to feed, you know, or they got this speedster down the flank, and we have Pee Wee Ortega down right now. But Milwaukee just has everything. You check every box for every player, and it works out.
Yeah, they got a pretty complete team. One of the things that we should bring about is that we do have El Negro Sandoval, and he's still adjusting to the game indoor because he's one of the few players that are crossing over into indoor soccer, and he's got 2 goals so far this season. So, you know, he's got a lot of talent. He's still adjusting to the game, but he's doing very well.
Here's the replay of what happened with Wheelo. Kind of hard to tell on what happened with him there. Good view by our crew, but just the way he went down, I don't know if it was the leg that he hurt
Yeah, he's hurting. He's hurting. You know, all we want is for the players not to get hurt, to get up, you know, because whenever one of them goes down, you know, it's not a good thing for the sport.
Hopefully he's all right. As we wait for Pee Wee to get up, you brought up a great point with Negro, and we were talking about it earlier when you were with Tico over there on the Spanish broadcast. We were saying how, you know, that first shift that he had where the Mustangs ended up scoring a goal, he was all over the field. You could tell he's more comfortable on the indoor soccer surface now, and how big of a change it is to go from outdoor to indoor. Even when Ronaldinho came here for a little indoor soccer action last year, he had trouble adjusting, and this is one of the best players to ever play the game and the outdoor game, and when he's having trouble playing the game in the indoor, you know that's not an easy transition.
Yeah, because the indoor game first of all, it's such a physical game, you know, than the outdoor, and it's very, very quick. You know, you really have to have very quick reflexes. And, you know, in the outdoor game, it's more wide open and spread out, you know, but once you contain it into a smaller area indoors, it changes the aspects of the game completely.
And the way that you use your body and how the other team comes at you using, you know, the physical, it's such a physical game that in the indoor or in the outdoor game, a lot of these calls that, you know, that aren't made here, there's a reason, because it's a more physical game. Outdoor, they're really quick to put that whistle in their mouth and, you know, call a foul on you for being, you know, touching someone almost. Here, they let you battle. Sometimes you get hit into the boards, and guess what? You got to get up and keep playing.
Yep, and the foot skills are so important in the indoor game. You know, not to say that it's not important in the outdoor game, but foot skills are very, very much a key part of the game when you're playing indoor soccer.
I've seen a lot of outdoor soccer as well, and since we're just going to keep it local, you watch some of these guys on the Fire. No disrespect to the guys on the Fire, but I watch what they could do with the ball compared to what, you know, maybe a Taylor Bond or a Wheelo Martinez can do with the ball at their feet.
Yeah.
And the way that they handle it and the tricks that they can do with the, you know, in these tight spaces is so impressive, like you stated. And a lot of people don't see that because they don't come out to an indoor game, which we always urge. Come out to a Chicago Mustangs game. See it. You will enjoy this type of soccer, this brand that you're seeing right now, and you get to see Vaca do things like that.
It's beautiful. And let me tell you, my son plays outdoor soccer, but in the winter he plays indoor, and they really focus on the foot skills on the indoor game, and when they come out in the spring, it's a totally different game.
Dos Santos trying to get his second goal of the game, and he misses near side. Couple great chances by the Wave as they're getting urged on by not only their team on the bench, but the fans in the corner as well. We're trying to weather this storm. Here's a shot, and it goes just above the crossbar by Flores.
And the Chicago Fire just trying to put pressure in these closing seconds of the game. You know, the crowd's definitely, yeah, I'm sorry, the Mustangs, you're right. We were talking about the Fire a few minutes ago. But yeah, a lot of good pressure.
Well, I know Norman's got to go join Tico over there. Tico's gasping for some air. You got to go help him out. Here's some highlights of the first quarter. A lot of action right there as you see Jesus Flores diving to make one of the nicer saves of the game so far, even though it's very early. There's another opportunity for the Wave, and a lot of close calls here. There's another one that is going to be hitting the crossbar. That could have been a 3-1 lead right there for the Wave. And Henne was super excited about that chance that we saw hit the crossbar. He was all ready to celebrate, and then he realized, oh boy, I missed. And Jesus Flores was all over it. There's Ephraim Beard with a nice little defensive play. Here's at the end of the quarter here with a couple opportunities for the Mustangs as Dos Santos missed near side with the left foot. Dos Santos, the only goal scorer for the Mustangs in the first quarter. Off a nice assist from Taylor Bond. It looked like the Mustangs were not going to be stopped, even though it was early in the first quarter. I saw the Mustangs and I saw the energy coming from the players on the field after that first goal. But once again, Milwaukee Wave playing spoilers, as they always do, coming through for you. Scored about a minute or two after the Mustangs scored, getting some momentum back, and then capitalizing on gaining full momentum of the rest of the first quarter, going up 2-1. Mustangs are ready to go. We wait for Milwaukee to hit the field. One person that we have not seen on the bench tonight for the Milwaukee Wave, one of their assistant coaches, in Nick Vorberg. Nick Vorberg is not here tonight. One guy that I don't know if he'd say he's the biggest fan of coming to Chicago. I know it makes it a little easier that one person is not here any longer and is in Reno, Nevada. That'd be David Race's Captain Chaos, the one and only, giving a hard time to Nick Vorberg, probably more than any other player in indoor soccer history. He would make special trips to sit behind the net in Milwaukee, wherever Vorberg would go, and give him a hard time. So no Nick Vorberg tonight for the Wave. Ferdinand now in the corner, getting the ball taken away. Incidental contact at midfield, two players from both teams down. There's a pass by Camarena, and you could tell he was upset. He was jumping in the air as he tried to get that through pass to Taylor Bond. Milwaukee Wave taking a little longer in their huddle to try to draw up a couple more plays. We'll see if they work out here in the second quarter with the lead 2-1 to the white and green. Or it might look yellow on your screen. Ian Bennett doing his thing, dancing around in a dangerous play right there, but Rojas on the line to clear it away. Milwaukee Wave tonight have done a great job of weathering the storm that the Mustangs have thrown towards the Wave. And here comes Bennett. Bennett with the shot, and I'm not sure who's going to get credited for the goal, but it did look like Bennett got that one. And of course, Ian Bennett puts it in the back of the net, and what else is new for the Milwaukee Wave? This guy is an MVP caliber player, and he had too much space. He walked right in, got an open shot off, no one in the shooting lane, and Coach Gamboa is not going to be happy about that one, that's for sure. He's going to be a little upset that no one jumped up right there for the Mustangs to get in Ian Bennett's path. (3-1). Milwaukee has taken control of this game so far, and now here's a 3-on-2. Could they add on? And they do. Hans Dennison with a big grin on his face, and now this is just fun time for one of the highest scoring teams in the league. Timeout for Coach Gamboa. He does not like what he sees coming in to the second quarter, and whatever it was that the Milwaukee Wave was drawing up there and taking a little extra time before the second quarter, it's been working. 4-1 inside the Sears Center. Here's a couple replays of both goals. Hans Dennison, once again, it's a 3-on-2 going the opposite way. He had about 10 to 15 feet to rip a shot, put it wherever he wants, and he put it right there.
He's Woodstock's best high school soccer player. Lou, congratulations, you're turning 18. And Mr.
no one likes this more than Ian Bennett. Ian Bennett, you know, you talk to Ian Bennett, and he'll say everything nice about Chicago. He only had nothing but good things to say about his former city here that he played for. But he always has that little grin on his face and says, "Man, I love to score against Chicago. It's just something about it. You know, it gets you going. When you play in your old city, your old town, you always feel like you want to show everyone what they're missing. And tonight, you know, if you paid a ticket to watch Ian Bennett, just him, you're getting your money's worth, and we're not even halfway through this game yet." Ephraim Beard starting it up, and he gets his pass blocked away, and now there's trouble all over the place for the Mustangs. Miscommunication all over the field. How will the Mustangs kind of bear down a little bit? There are too many turnovers. Garcia with the turnover. There's about 3 turnovers, make it almost 4 turnovers just in this little sequence, and just dumping it down the field is Ephraim Beard. Now Lemos getting taken down by, oh, wow. A late whistle. There's going to be a wide open net for the Mustangs, and a very late whistle. Mustangs not too happy about that. And now we have a blue card to Taylor Bond. He's not happy about that. Not happy at all. So now here's what we had. We had Taylor Bond go at Lemos at the boards, cause a turnover, and then we had a whistle blown. Now Lemos still down, as you can see. When we had the late whistle, both refs come together for a little conference, which I have no problem with. I'm all about getting the call right. My problem is they show a blue card after a late whistle, which it was a very late whistle. They come together to talk about a blue card, which I'm a little shocked on, because that foul was not warranted of a blue card. There was nothing very physical about that call. Lemos is up, moving around just fine. Looked like more of a cramp that he had. You know, it's hard for me to say, obviously, because I'm all the way up here in the second tier. But I've seen and I've played a lot of soccer, and I know what a blue card is. That wasn't one. Now the Mustangs are in a tough position, down 3 goals. Ian Bennett takes a shot, and there it is. Again, Ian Bennett. This guy is unstoppable, not only when it comes to playing against the Mustangs, but just, man, at any time. Just too easy of a goal for Ian Bennett. Once again, Pichardo going, a defender causing, right there he's in a tough spot, I understand. But you got to trust that Camarena's going to get there in time and force the player to come up to you a little bit more and try to delay his thought process of a shot or a pass. And there, Pichardo, what happens is he comes up, and now he forces a 3-on-1 really, because he comes up and he's almost out of the play because Milwaukee is coming right through and making them 3-on-1, giving more options to Milwaukee. So right now the Mustangs, the communication just a bit off, and I think that's probably what's frustrating the Mustangs the most. Lemos with a shot right across the boards, and he has a save, and as he points up to the sky. And now we have a foul, and okay. Now here's what I'm gonna say about this, folks. The refs set the precedent of the blue card. You might think this is now I might get ripped for this, but I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to give you my full out view on this. Lemos gets called, or Taylor Bond gets a blue card for taking down Lemos in the corner. Didn't think it was worth the blue card. Did I think this was worth a blue card? No. But if we're going to be calling that call in the corner on Bond, we're definitely going to have to call a blue card on this. And we're bringing in Bobby Launchar. Bobby, we had this talk last home game. It looked like one of the worst games that Chicago Mustangs played in the Sears Center. But what happened was they scored about 7 or 8 goals in the fourth quarter and came back. Are we going to see an earlier comeback tonight than we did a few weeks back?
Yeah, again, we got to start marking the ball in front of our box. We talk about it all the time, and Florida's going to have to get some help. And ball's going through his legs a little bit. He's got to get his positioning a little bit. But again, you know what? We got to be stronger here.
We have to congratulate you, your son. How about that? Killing it down there on the national anthem.
Yeah, it's my
that?
4th son out of 5.
He had the Justin Bieber haircut too going. He might be making you millions and billions of dollars pretty soon. You better be sending out that video.
He's the music one. Yeah, he's the music one.
That was a great job. You must have been a proud father at that moment. That was probably the best anthem we had this year, actually.
It was great. Yeah, it was just great. We got a good crowd today. The weather's cooperating with us, but we just got to possess the ball a little bit here and give ourselves some opportunities. But it's going to be a physical game. You already see it.
Oh, yeah, we've seen that already happen. Vaca takes a shot, and just look how many guys are in that shooting lane for Milwaukee.
Yeah, their defense is coming up strong, and they're marking.
And when I see something like that, I'd like to see Vaca take a fake shot and pass it off to the flank for an open net. Everyone collapsed, and there was 2 or 3 open Mustang players there.
Well, you can see they're bumping and they're hitting Willow just right now, so it's going to be physical. Look at that. A bag from behind.
Oh, you talk about it. Keep the ball down on your shots. And there's
left foot.
Douglas Dos Santos.
Well done, Dos Santos.
His second of the game. Dos Santos with a huge goal, but it might come as a big cost as well, as Taylor Bond is down on the turf, holding the back of his neck. Let's see what happened here. Good goal here by Dos Santos. And then let's see what happened to Taylor Bond. As the tape keeps rolling, we'll have a good spot here to see what happened. Let's see if we can keep it rolling to see what happened to Taylor Bond here, who's getting up slowly. Oh, he just went down. He just kind of went down.
He must have pulled something or whatever. I'm not sure. Nobody was around him. Nobody hit him. He must have just pulled something.
Hopefully, he's walking off by himself. Hopefully he's all right, because usually those non-contact injuries are the worst ones to get. Yeah. But a huge goal for the Mustangs nonetheless.
Good job in Dos Santos. You know what? He stayed with the ball, trapped the ball. Again, left foot curved it, brought the ball up off the ground, and put it in top left corner.
And not a lot of speed on that shot. He just
accuracy over power.
He placed it. Wheelo tried to go for the power. Dos Santos went for the accuracy. Now this is something that I was talking about after the first goal for the Mustangs. Milwaukee is very good at scoring a minute or two after an opponent's goal. So the Mustangs really have to weather the storm right here.
Yeah, they get hyped up. They're going to come back strong on us. So right now we just got to be patient on defense, find our targets.
Quick pass and a quick shot. Oh, wow. Jesus Flores letting that ball bounce around a little bit in a dangerous area.
Yeah, Alexi almost heeled that ball right back in our own goal. Flores was on top of that, paying attention.
Bennett heading it to the yellow line. Now he has the ball at his feet again. Look at that speed by Ian Bennett. He takes a shot and it goes wide. Ian Bennett is a star. Ruggles playing it back to Rampa. To Lemos. Well, we have a little time here. Last time we spoke, we had a great post-game meal at Gino's East before the Christmas holiday and the New Year. How about these t-shirts that you showed us with all these different organizations? How's that coming along? Can we order those?
Actually, yeah. We got a lot of good things going on right now. So we have a band from Chicagoland area called Arbor Creek. That's going to be playing at halftime for a couple songs, and then after the game for about 30 minutes. And then we actually just confirmed February 21st, we're having a special needs family day. So we reached out to a lot of the groups from autism and muscular dystrophy, cerebral palsy and stuff like that. And we also have a singer that was on American Idol, Manny Torres, that'll be singing a little bit at halftime as well as after the game. So it'll be a great event. Actually, a lot of that marketing and communication will be coming out on Monday.
That's awesome. Especially the special needs night, getting everyone involved, giving families a night out, just to have some fun, It's going to be a great night to be a part of. Now we got Vaca dancing around. Oh, and there's one of your shots right there. More power or more accuracy? What do you want? The accuracy is always key.
Yeah, well, Deef, you know what? Milwaukee's got a tight defense on top of their box. They're not giving us a lot of room.
A good shot by Ephraim Beard, a defender that you don't see take a shot like that, like a volley. And Garcia with a better shot there. Less power, more accuracy, got it on net. Lemos made the save, and now we have a foul.
Yeah, Ephraim, I think, has been scoring the last couple games as well. He's gotten some momentum going for us before. So we'll see here.
So let's talk about this little concert that we have going on at halftime. Is that something the Mustangs are looking into more, getting other fans from other areas, whether it's a band, you bring in a band, the fans buy a ticket. Not only do they get to see their band, but they get to see, a good indoor soccer game as well. You're trying to maximize the value for the fan.
But that's what we were talking about. Since I've been on board for about 90 days, we've been doing a lot of outreach. We're in the community, we're just talking and growing our fan base. Since I've been here, we got like almost 3,000 more on our Facebook. So we're telling people, go to Facebook, look at us online. But the same thing with the shirts. You go to chicagosoccer.net and you can see our charity page on there.
Yeah, that was a great idea because you have a great logo. It's obvious you have a great logo with the Chicago Mustangs, and to do the pink for the breast cancer and so on and so forth for all these different organizations, and putting that with the logo, it's a good looking thing for the organization, and it helps out these diseases or disorders that people may have. It's a great idea.
Yeah, they're just great charities. Everybody's involved, and it's a national program. So anybody can go online and order the shirts that we talked about, and the proceeds go back to their foundation. So we just worked out a deal with McDonald's Corporation that we're going to be visiting the Ronald McDonald houses in Chicago in the next week.
Very nice. That's nice. Is Ronald McDonald coming to any of the games?
Ronald McDonald will be coming to a game.
All right. So come on out, get your picture with Ronald McDonald.
So we're working on that one, but we will be out in the Ronald McDonald houses. And, we encourage anybody who wants to participate with us can send me an email at bobby@chicagomustingspro.com, and I'll return the email and give you a call back. But we're looking to get our players actively involved in the community, which we've been doing. And it's working. It's building our fan base, and we want to put some money back, into our communities.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great thing. That's probably, like I said, a lot of Chicago teams. You see the Storm and all these other teams come up, and they did a good job, but they didn't do a good enough job with getting fans and keeping fans. In this day and age, that's what you need to sustain success for years and years, and you guys are laying down that groundwork that the other teams totally missed out on.
Yeah, I guess there's a lot of things to it, So it just comes out to reaching out to our connections and people that we know, and we're looking at the corporations for outings coming in here. Today we had an outing with 300 people from Real Prestige, but we're networking in the marketplace again, and we're working with corporations, and we invite everybody to come out and take a look at our game.
Tonight, I would say, is maybe outside of the home opener, which I think this might be more people in the home opener. This is probably the best crowd that we've had all year inside the Sears Center. Really great crowd on hand. and they're really receptive to what's going on. It's just not a quiet arena. They're cheering. They're doing a lot of things.
Yeah, I think we're going. Unfortunately, as we said, we're in Chicago, so the last time it was 0 degrees and then 8 inches of snow. But again, we got a great product. Look, we got a great team. This is always a great rivalry with Milwaukee, and we welcome it.
Some fans, even from Milwaukee, I'd say 10 to 15 fans making their way down here to support both teams. That's always a good sign to see. They're always welcome inside the Sears Center.
So here we go. We go in the other third, and attacking, and we're losing the ball easily.
Yeah, we were talking last game about there's a shot by Vaca, and he just misses high. We talked about this last game. The Mustangs, when they're not at their best, they're making 20 to 30-foot passes. When they're at their best, they're making 5 to 10-foot passes and moving quickly upfield. Just something like that right there, perfect example. Now Vaca takes a shot that gets blocked. Oh, here's a good opportunity. Could they take it? Oh, no.
Yeah, he tried to do a heel pass through the legs. Almost worked.
Rojas close to bringing this game to a 2-goal game. Still a 3-point lead.
So there's a timeout.
No, we have a blue card, actually. Trying to figure out what's going on here.
Might have been too many men on the field or something. Doors were open.
Well, I saw a lot of Mustang players throw their hands up in the air. That's all I saw. And then I heard a very faint whistle. Not sure. Whatever it is, it's a power play for the Mustangs coming at the right time with 7 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Jesus Flores is going to start it up. Now here are the Mustangs. They don't need to rush. They need to take their time and get good shots on goal. They just can't force anything here.
Patience and technical skill.
Yes.
Patience and like that.
Just like
easy
that.
Easy giveaway.
That was not needed right there. You gotta wait. Pee-wee now at midfield with Vaca. Vaca. Spinning, turning. He's in the corner. Rojas turns in a save.
Great
by
turn and a great
Lemos.
save.
Lemos again.
Yeah, Rojas, nice shielding the ball with his body turned with his right foot, and he smacked that one.
And he didn't waste any time either. He just, once he turned, he shot that. He didn't take a step. And that's a smart thing.
Talk about element of surprise.
Yes. And he knew where he was on the field too, which is a lot of players do not know what's going on around them. He was well aware. Wheelo now at midfield, giving it back to Jesus Flores. We have 6 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Vaca playing it off to Ortega. Ortega at the yellow line, giving it back to Vaca. They're playing a back and forth game. Good passing, but then Bond was just a step away from getting there. Now a 50-50 ball.
We got to clear for a foul there.
Yeah,
Nothing called.
Nelson goes down. Vaca passes it off. Oh, man, Lemos
Good left foot, but a great left-hand save there.
Lemos all over it tonight, doing his best Nick Vorberg impression, actually. Trying to steal the show in Chicago. Vaca with Bond. Bond with the shot. And Ruggles just dumps it all the way down back to Jesus Flores. Flores back to Ortega. Ortega looking at options, going to give it to Vaca. Vaca again at the yellow line. He's going to give it to Ortega.
22 seconds left in his penalty.
He had an opportunity for a shot, instead passes it off. Ball bouncing all over the place. Wheelo with the centering pass. Now Ortega with the shot, volleys it. It gets blocked out of bounds. Another great thing about coming to a game at the Sears Center, I mean, you have to be well aware of where you're sitting, but no glass up by the half boards really makes you feel like you're a part of the game.
Yeah, and you know what? We encourage people to sit close to the field so they can see the players and how hard they're working. But you got to be careful when you're standing so close.
This ball's coming at you 70 miles per hour, and a Taylor Bond 70 mile per hour ball to the face is never a good thing.
You don't want a Puma face tag, let me tell you. You don't.
unless you were getting paid billions and billions of dollars. But even then, I don't think I'd take that pain. Not from Taylor Bond, at least. Bond with a chip shot that he tried to place in the back corner. It hits the post. Milwaukee Wave trying to catch
that ball. Great hustle.
Uh-oh. Baca giving it to the most dangerous player on the field. Oh, wow, look at that. That's talking about
That was a great
skill.
turn. Great 360, total control of the ball.
Ian Bennett, someone that's, I mean, he's usually a very solid player, but this year, this guy, I'm telling you right now, he's hit another gear. Ian Bennett this year.
Yeah, scoring machine.
He scored, I believe, 13 goals in 2 games against our Mustangs.
Tenacity.
Some guys don't even score 13 goals in a year or a career in this indoor soccer league, and he does it in 2 games. Bennett. Toach playing it all the way back. Lemos, who's almost stealing the thunder away from Ian Bennett even, which is a hard thing to say.
Well, Milwaukee again, they're just opening up the field and moving the ball around. Playing a little bit of keep away here.
Rojas trying to do his best acting job, falling down as he got a little shove by Ferdinand. Ferdinand lets it go through, and there's a shot by Toach.
Simple goal.
And great movement there by the Milwaukee Wave, causing confusion for the defenders of the Chicago Mustangs, and now it's back to a 4-goal lead for Milwaukee.
And what's happening is they're getting those through balls on those shots. They're going across the goal mouth, and they always have a player on the opposite side. And you can see Toach is simple, between 2 cones, in step, and just places the ball. And again, it's simple pass right in there.
And another shot that wasn't about power, even though it got blocked by Pee Wee Ortega. That ball was going on net 100%, no questions asked. And that was, I mean, you got to give credit to Milwaukee. They're drawing up these plays and they're working perfectly. The Mustangs have been beat on almost 90% of their goals against Milwaukee, have been right on the side. Here comes an opportunity and a near side miss again.
Yep,
And there's a
great
shot.
follow-up by Taylor Bond.
Taylor Bond comes through, still holding his neck, and he brings this game back to a 3-goal lead for Milwaukee.
Yeah, he looks like he's hurting a little bit.
There's a near side miss. Taylor Bond, right spot,
that was a bad
right
trap
time.
and a bad clear.
Good
and
job by Taylor Bond not to get over anxious though. Watch here,
Great
you'll
left
see
foot,
him.
nice volley, follows through.
He waited, and then pounced when he realized that Tenzin Rapa, who doesn't make very many mistakes,
Yeah, but he
misses on the
drilled
clear.
that ball. Yeah, that ball was coming in hard.
You could tell he wasn't too happy about something. And it's probably about the score right now. But now he gets his team back within 3. And the Mustangs have an opportunity here with about 3 minutes to go to get this lead cut even more or even tie the game.
They're always going to be close. They're always going to be close here. We all know that.
This game has huge implications on standings. Yeah. Huge implications on standings for both teams. The Mustangs obviously trying to go to first place. Milwaukee obviously trying to go to first place. We got a timeout on the field for Milwaukee. They're going to be drawing something up on the clipboard again, and everything that they've done, it's like magic on that clipboard.
You can purchase your balls at the merchandise stand for $3 per ball or $5 for 2 balls. Sales will end with the third quarter.
Mustangs
During the last intermission, fans can throw balls onto the turf.
actually coming through right there and getting a goal back very quickly, taking a page out of the Milwaukee Wave playbook right there with a quick counter goal. 6-3 here with 3:06 to go. That actually took about 3 seconds right there, or a little more than 10 actually, for keeping count in between goals. Norman, this game it's going to be back and forth. Tico giving a call out there on the Spanish broadcast. Unfortunately, I can't talk as fast as Tico, and I can't speak Spanish, so I can't give you the full effect. So if you want to switch over and listen to some great stuff, then go over and listen to Tico. I would even listen to Tico if I had the opportunity.
Let me tell you, nobody could talk as fast as Tico in any language.
Yeah, you know what? That is actually true. If I gave him the mic here, you'd be talking pretty quick too. So
Yeah.
he's a good guy, though. I love that guy over there. We always have a good laugh, and unfortunately, we can't tell the folks at home what your real name is, Norman. At least in the dictionary of Tico, we know your real name, but we can't repeat that on air.
We'd have to bleep that out.
I thought for sure a new year, a new name, but nope. We stay stuck in 2016, I guess.
The more things change, the more they stay the same.
Ortega now playing it down to Ruggles. Ruggles back to Lemos. Lemos having a great game so far. Every goal that he's given up have actually been very difficult goals. I don't think even Jesus Flores would have been able to stop those shots that were on Lemos. Lemos doing a great job tonight, almost stealing the show away from Ian Bennett, and that's something that's hard to do.
Oh yes. And finally, in the second period, we got Taylor Bond to put one behind the goal, because I know it seemed like he was desperate to score.
Yeah.
And hopefully this will inspire the team to continue, dominating and opening up spaces for other players to participate.
That's a failed attempt right there by Edwin Rojas to clear that. Now he gives a corner kick to the Wave.
Yeah, and I'd like to remind the folks that are watching that, this is the third game that Chicago is playing against the Wave, and we still haven't been able to beat them. And last time they played, the Wave beat Chicago 9-4.
Yep.
And that was a tough game for Chicago. So we're hoping, we still got a lot of soccer to play, but we're still hoping that this goal by Taylor Bond inspired the team, and that we see a lot more coming.
Lemos getting pressured. Looking for a three-line pass, no call. Ian Bennett gets taken down. And here comes Flores. Flores with a shot and a save by Lemos, and the ball gets cleared out by Ruggles. Ian Bennett running this down. And it's still a 50-50 ball, but Camarena gets to it. Rojas to Vaca.
Ian Bennett was trying to chase that one down.
And now we got Ian Bennett again here. Oh, Ian Bennett making a mistake. Usually we don't see him making that type of mistake as he's attacking down the near side. Coming up on a minute here left before halftime. The Mustangs are down 6-3 in their home arena here for the first time of 2017. Happy New Year to all you that are listening to us tonight here inside the Sears Center. Hope you're enjoying this game, even though your Mustangs are down. Lemos.
And let me tell you, these two teams statistically, in terms of goals against, are almost dead. They're pretty much dead even. They have a 6.4 goals against Rachel. What's going on here? Willow Martinez, I missed the play, but obviously Willow Martinez is trying to bring...
They're saying the ball went out of bounds inside the penalty box, and it's...
That should have been a card. I don't know if you saw that.
Well, you know what? Rojas went down just about 2 minutes ago, and he didn't even really get touched, and he went down. I think the refs are... It's almost like the little boy that cried wolf. He's crying wolf a little too much, even though the hand got up in his face.
Yep. Well, it seems like the game's getting a little bit heated here.
No surprise, though.
Yeah.
With these two going at it.
It's a tough rivalry, and...
now Loki gets called for a foul.
I don't think the crowd liked that call.
No. Crowd did not like that call at all.
But it's a tough rivalry because both these teams are 2 games away from tying the #1 team in the division,
The Rampage.
which
Cedar
is the
Rapids.
Rampage. And it's pretty interesting because Chicago has the 3-time, hold on,
Oh,
the 3 times that Chicago has played the Rampage, they beat the Rampage.
right.
But now the 2 times that we've played Milwaukee, we've lost against Milwaukee.
Weird how that works.
It's
weird
really
how
weird.
that works.
It's really weird. There's just sometimes you just have teams that you just have a tough time playing against, regardless of what, where they are.
Lemos just clearing this down the field. Here's an opportunity for Milwaukee, and that ball gets deflected.
And that was a great defensive play.
That was huge by Rojas to get his foot right there. We were looking at an easy goal there for a second for Milwaukee.
Rojas was at the right place at the right time,
Definitely was.
and that ball was deflected because it was coming with a lot of power.
There's a shot, and it's over. And that's a goal right there, and that's a killer goal to give up.
Yeah.
And Tenzin Rampa with the goal with 5.2 seconds left in the second quarter. 7-3 now. Milwaukee extends their lead.
That's a tough deficit, and we said earlier that Milwaukee in the Central Division is a team that is second in goal scoring. Rampage is first, the Comets are third, and Chicago is fourth.
Yeah, Coach Gamboa is not going to be too happy, I don't think. He's going to have a few choice words for his team as they go to halftime. So that was a difficult half right there for the Mustangs. It really was.
Yeah, they have to. Yeah, they have to really regroup, because the Mustangs are on a 2-game winning. No, on a 1-game winning streak. They just won away, and I'm sure they want to come back and start out the year right in front of the home crowd with a win.
Well, they're going to have their work set out for them as they go halftime through the second half. We'll be back as we're going to have some halftime entertainment for you with a commercial and a band hitting the floor in a second. Thanks for watching. I got to go to the bathroom.
I'm Bobby Luncharn from the Chicago Mustangs, the general manager. Go to our website, ChicagoMustangsPro.com, and you can order a shirt in any color with your logo from your foundation. And we'll be donating some of those proceeds back to your community. Thank you for following us at ChicagoMustangsPro.com and like us on Facebook.
Yo, Negro Sandoval, les recomiendo AML Loans para todos sus préstamos hipotecarios y bienes y raíces. Vamos, Mustang.
¿Qué tal? Les habla su amigo Willow Martínez, número 10 de los Chicago Mustang, recomendándoles a Toncar Autopartes, donde encontrarás lo que buscas para tu auto. ¡Vamos, Mustang!
In second place, Palatine United. And the champions of the U16 division, San Pablo. In the U14 division, third place, FC Atletico. In second place, Gladiadores. And the champions in the U14 division, Gladiadores. In the U12 division, Third place, GFCM. In second place, GFCM. And the champions of the U12 division, Mini Halcones.
got CDs for sale over there if y'all are interested. And we're gonna play a little bit after the game. You wanna meet the players and come see us out. Come enjoy the rest of the game.
Welcome back to the Sears Center. We are here for second half action, where your Mustangs are down by 4 goals to the Milwaukee Wave. It is 7-3 Milwaukee Wave, and the Mustangs really they need to figure some things out, Norman. Well, we've seen the Mustangs time and time again come back from big-time deficits, just like this one we've seen tonight. You know, Milwaukee trying to take possession of the ball, try to keep the win to the Mustangs, and keep that clock running as much as possible. They're not going to try to foul them now. That would be dumb plays, giving set pieces to a talented Mustangs team. So possession is going to be key right here for Milwaukee. As for the Mustangs, they have to get a high-quality shot and a high volume of shots, but they can't pass up shots when they have an open lane. Wade did a great job of being all over the place, passing and shooting and right now, as you can tell, they're not trying to force anything. They're going to slow risk passes, trying to keep possession at their feet. You know, you'll see that the Mustangs will have to, try to weaken a little bit, try to put a little pressure on them. If they keep that ball in sleep on Milwaukee, they're going to get that ball in the back of the net quicker than a blink of an eye or flashing away.
Boards. Oh. That was a bit of a rough play there.
That was a rough play. I thought they were going to pull out a card, but I guess they didn't. I'd have to see the replay.
Well, we've already seen it where the refs have blown the play dead and then delayed the blue card. For sure now we know we're not going to get a blue card. Ball now being bounced around. Here's a good opportunity for the Mustangs. Not sure what the foul was called on, but I know the Mustangs will take it. Once again, the Mustangs are looking for the clock to stop as much as possible. If you can give them the ball on a set piece, no matter how far away you are from the goal, that's advantage to the Mustangs. Right now, Milwaukee has to figure that they don't want to kick the ball out of bounds and they don't want to take fouls. Right here, there you go, exactly what Ian Bennett just did. Now they play it back to Lemos, and they're going to see, there you go. That's forcing the Mustangs to play some high-pressure defense. A pass trying to go from Ephraim Beard all the way down to the far post. Can't get to Camarena. Reset for the Mustangs.
Right. And obviously, you know, Milwaukee wants that clock to tick. And
Oh, yeah.
Chicago is very much pressured to start getting some goals, you know.
There's Ephraim. Oh, and a save by Lemos. Oh, and it hits the post. Another shot, and it's blocked away by Milwaukee.
Great
Here comes
opportunity.
Bennett.
Great opportunity by Chicago. They're out there trying to create open spaces, create plays. Like I said, the clock is ticking, and that's not good for Chicago. And they need to really start putting some balls in the net.
It's funny, Norman, we're sitting here talking about what Milwaukee needs to do and run the clock. And we've played many sporting games in our careers and our lives. And when you're the away team, it is so funny how the time just seems to stand still. You know, you're trying to kill the clock. You look up and you're like, man, we still have that much time left? I thought for sure that, you know, that this game was over. On the flip side, when you're in the Mustangs position, you look up at the clock and you're saying, man, that clock's moving real fast.
It depends on which side of the coin you are, you know. But that's a great observation. Right now, Chicago needs to move that ball very quickly upfield and create some scoring opportunities.
Another foul behind the play. You could see the Milwaukee Wave coaches right there not happy with the way the team's playing with the little ticky-tack fouls. They were getting mad that they were falling asleep a little bit, and they want the coaches, all the coaches on that bench for Milwaukee, urging the players to stay awake and push up on the ball carrier and still create pressure. They know 4 goals is still not a lot of goals to come back from if you're the Mustangs.
Yeah, because anything can happen. It's a quick game. I mean, you could be on top 1 minute. The next couple of minutes, you could be, you know, it could be a tied game. You know, it's a very, very quick game. Chicago has demonstrated in the past that they've been able to come back against other teams when they've been down at home. So we're hoping that they're able to pull this one off and do it also.
Here's a good opportunity for Milwaukee, killing the clock, not forcing anything, playing in their own end.
And again, you know, they have to shut down Ian Bennett because he's the man with the golden foot tonight.
Oh, yeah, when is he not the man with the golden foot?
Like I said, he's got over 30 goals, over 31 goals scored this season, one of the top goal scorers in the league. And last time he played, Milwaukee played Chicago, he scored 6 of the goals.
This, as announcers, we'll tell the folks at home, obviously, I will say right after the Chicago Mustangs have an opportunity here, here's a shot right into Lemos' hands. But when a team's trying to kill the clock, it's one of the more boring games to announce because all you say is play one player back to the other player, one player back to the other player. I want the Mustangs to get the ball so we can have some exciting calls here because here, as you can see, they're just doing a triangle passing pattern. Now they finally bring it up the field, and Ian Bennett with a bad touch, giving it back to the Mustangs. Dos Santos now playing it up, and now we can actually call a game for you. Here comes Taylor Bond. And then as I say that, Milwaukee takes it back, and there is a blue card coming out, and not the time you want to take a blue card.
That's not the kind. That's, you know, those kind of plays is what kills your chances of coming back. When you have one guy on the bench for 2 minutes, that just creates more opportunities for the opposing team to score more goals, and they've done it already in this game. So not a smart play on behalf of the Chicago Mustangs. But hopefully, you know, they'll be able to withstand this and, you know, hold tight and get a full squad on the field.
Francisco's been having a tough game tonight. He's missed a couple opportunities, taking some fouls that aren't the best fouls in the world. You got to think Gamboa is going to be keeping him to the bench, giving some other guys some minutes because he's having a rough go of it tonight. And you could just tell when we were watching him go into the box. It's not that he wasn't hanging his head or anything. He was just kind of shaking his head and kind of like, I'm hurting my team instead of helping my team, and he's starting to realize that right now.
Exactly. And, they got to keep their head in the game because, the clock's ticking. And,
well, this right here is pretty much a 2 free minutes for Milwaukee.
Right.
Whether they want to attack and put another shot on goal, which obviously that's got to be their plan. 4 goals, we've been saying, is not enough for the Mustangs, or for the Wave to be up. But if they really wanted to take a 2 free minutes off this clock, they are able to right now.
Right. Because, for those folks that don't know, it's a 2-minute penalty. If Milwaukee scores before the 2 minutes are over, then it's a full squad again.
Yep. So, see, Milwaukee they're really not trying to attack. They're just kind of playing it safe, seeing if they can squeeze in the easy passes, not trying to do anything too difficult. And there's Ian. Oh, wow. And he and Bennett, a rare sight where he does not get all the ball.
Yep, and that was a great opportunity for Milwaukee to score, and they weren't able to put it behind the net, which is good for Chicago.
I guess the only bright side for Milwaukee there is it didn't go out of bounds.
Correct.
They kept the ball in the zone. They earned a foul and a free kick.
Right now they seem to have Chicago against the ropes.
I don't know why they call the foul on Pee-wee. Oh, foul again. Okay. We're watching the plays here, but for both sides of the ball, I'm not sure where some of these fouls are coming from. We've had some weird calls.
Yeah, I don't know where it's coming from because you just hear the whistle and you don't even know what's going on.
That one is a foul because
Yeah.
we can obviously see that. But the first half was much more physical and less calls. Now we're getting guys tapping each other on the shoulder and the refs are calling it.
Maybe they don't want the game to get out of hand. Maybe
that could be it.
There's something on the field that we're not picking up on.
Ephraim Beard now with the windup. Takes a shot, misses wide, and the ball goes out of play. See right there, the Mustangs don't have the opportunity to kill off clock there. They have to take that shot. They can't play it back to Jesus Flores and say, oh, we're just going to kill off the penalty. They need to keep attacking and attacking and attacking.
Now there's a timeout on the field. These guys got to regroup and re-strategize and see what they can do to put the ball in the net and, have more of an opportunity to come back on this team.
There's a nice touch by the Mustangs. Something new that they started is giving a standing ovation to the veterans and our current military serving right now that are inside the stadium. We extend a huge appreciation to them.
Every day's Veterans Day here at the home of the Mustangs.
No question about that. Every day where we can give a thanks, we extend it to them. We say it every game. We wouldn't be here announcing this game, giving you this great entertainment tonight if it wasn't for the great men and women out there putting their lives on the line for us.
As we speak.
As we speak. People that we don't even know are willing to put their life on the line for you and I to just talk about a game.
Exactly.
Which is unbelievable.
And
thank you.
We tip our hats to all those men and women who serve the armed forces.
Ortega laying it down to Rojas. And the tot. Every time Milwaukee gets that ball, they're taking at least a minute off. And that's a minute that the Mustangs won't get back to score a goal.
Time is precious. You see Sandoval having some strong words against.
Look at right there as the play is going on. You can see Coach Gamboa giving it earful, an absolute earful.
He better watch out.
Yeah, the refs, even though it's a professional league, no one likes getting a few choice words, and the folks at home know what words I'm talking about. You don't want those said to you, even in a professional setting in a heated moment.
And if the coach is that upset, it's got to transfer to the players too.
Oh yeah, oh definitely. Well, the coach is the voice of the team.
Right.
Now we got a handball. Norman's going to go to the Spanish broadcast. Help out Tico over there. Some confusion here from referee and Pee Wee Ortega. There's a shot by Ferdinand, and he shoots, and he scores, extending the lead for the Milwaukee Wave. Not a good scene inside the Sears Center right now. Kind of a hollow feeling with a great crowd on hand, and the energy that we saw early in this game has been really sucked out of the building. Fans are starting to get a little restless here, wanting to see a little more pushback from their Mustangs. Camarena gets the ball. Oh, here we go. Here we go. And now this is where frustrations are starting to boil over. And the Mustangs can't get into this game now with the Milwaukee Wave. Milwaukee Wave, let's face it, they're in the heads of the Chicago Mustangs right now. You cannot play their game and try to talk back to them. You can't push them around. Just try to focus on them one goal at a time. That should be the only thing on your mind. Let Milwaukee do a stupid thing, get a blue card for whether it's taunting, whether it's little extracurriculars after the whistle. Don't engage. That would be my message. Here's an opportunity for the Mustangs, and now we have Toch with a great save, and then a call on top of the arc. The restart for the Mustangs starts on top of the arc. We're having the extra official. Come on out. They're going to talk it over. Lemos, as you see there, pleading with the referee. Having a great game tonight, as you see the sweat dripping from his chin. He's been doing everything tonight for the Milwaukee Wave. If it wasn't for Lemos himself, this game is a lot closer than it is. Ortega now getting lined up here. Will he take a shot? He passes it off, and it's a save by Lemos. Another shot, and now here comes the counter. A bad pass by Riggles. Something that you don't see him do very often. Usually he's spot on. Now he makes up for it, heading it back to midfield. And now once again, Milwaukee going to just try to keep this clock running. In open space, there's a shot, crossbar. A lot of near misses tonight for the Milwaukee Wave. Fortunate. Really, it's one of the few fortunate things to happen for the Mustangs tonight are the near misses. There's a handball by Pee Wee Ortega going the other way. And now we're, once again, little extracurriculars. Do not engage if you're the Mustangs. This is a critical time. Do not engage. If you engage, you're giving the opportunity for a ref to throw out a blue card on there on a retaliation penalty. That is something you do not want if you're the Mustangs. Let Milwaukee push you. Let them go to the box. If they're inviting it, we can use it. Ortega now gains the yellow line, playing it up the boards. Dos Santos with a nice nifty pass. Rojas takes a shot, and right there was Dos Santos for the rebound. Couldn't get there in time. Beard with the ball at his feet. And Milwaukee again getting blocked off, and that's a foul on Rojas. Restart for the Wave, and here's a good opportunity for Milwaukee Wave to just play it back once again if they want to go to Lemos. Take another minute off this clock instead of Rampa now. Rampa having a game himself too. He scored a goal here tonight inside the Sears Center. It seems like every time Milwaukee scores a goal here, the way they cherish that moment, just kind of sticking it not only to the Mustangs, just to the fans though. You could see the swagger that they, we're from Milwaukee. We always take down Chicago teams. That type of feeling as they score a goal. And right now is prime time coming off this clock, and Milwaukee has no urgency in their play now. Ball gets dumped down, and they're just all about possession. Ian Bennett, smart play, and once again, here you go. Exactly, no urgency in their play. Why should there be when you're up 5 goals? Ian Bennett to Lemos, and this is exactly what Milwaukee Wave wants. And far away from the play, it looks like Ferdinand is going to the box, and that's a 2-minute power play for the Mustangs. Huge time in the game to get a goal. If the Mustangs can score a goal here, take momentum going in the 4th quarter. We've seen what a little momentum will do for this Chicago Mustangs team. Coach Gamboa has the marker in his hand. Will they be calling a timeout? Looks like Mustangs are going to try to play it out a little bit here. One of the top 3 threats for Milwaukee Wave in the box right now, and that's Max Ferdinand. Not sure what we're waiting for. Now we get confirmation on the penalty. I think there was the call that they were debating on what they wanted to call it, and they finally got what they wanted. Taylor Bond turning, trying to get around, try to do it all himself, and now we got a foul on Dos Santos for a shove in the back. Now see, this is something that I'm talking about. Douglas Dos Santos didn't have an opportunity to win that ball. He wasn't in a position to win that ball. Milwaukee was going to dump it down the field, and then it was going to be a regroup. For the Mustangs. Now, instead of just having the ball get sent down, now Milwaukee has possession of this ball and has an opportunity to keep possession. Now the ball comes down, and there's Ian Bennett who has the ball. Now, luckily for the Mustangs, it's the same result whether the foul was committed or not. Here comes Ortega. Ortega looking at options. He's going to pass it off to Vaca. Vaca looking. Vaca to Dos Santos. Vaca again, Dos Santos. Nice pass to Bond, and Taylor Bond puts it in the back of the net. Dos Santos is having a career game tonight here in the Sears Center. It is 8-4 with 3:10 to go in the 3rd quarter. Hey, folks, let me tell you something. There's a long, did I say long way to go in this game. 3:10 in the third quarter. Look at that pass. Look at that shot. We still have 15 minutes of the fourth to go. Think about that. Let that sink in for a second, Milwaukee. The Mustangs are not going away easy. Now you can see that Milwaukee, they really want this time to go by quicker. So if I'm the Mustangs, and now this, I'm sorry, but this is the last shift that I'm giving Francisco out there. Francisco again getting a blue card. Unbelievable that he would do it again. I'm telling you right now, Francisco Gonzalez in the box. No, now it's Edwin Rojas. I was going to say, unbelievable if it's on Gonzalez again. Gonzalez, I looked like it was him coming off the field, and I'm thinking, man, this guy's cost 2 fouls towards us on penalties. It just cannot happen anymore. The discipline has got to be there. And there's a good save by Jesus Flores. That one we might come back to. That could be a game-saving save. But yeah, whether it's Rojas, whether it's Gonzalez, that can't happen. Now Ferdinand, oh, a great save again by Jesus Flores. Make sure we come back to that one as well. There's a shot that goes wide. Ferdinand goes wide. He had a wide open net and he missed it all. Dennison's already scored one. And there's another save by Jesus Flores. Flores again coming up huge for the Mustangs. Man, what a sequence by Jesus Flores. And now we have a yellow card. I don't know what the refs are doing now. I don't know what's going on here now. Have no clue. And here we go. There's a yellow card to Miguel Vaca. And I'm sorry, I gave credit to the refs earlier in the first half, but this is just getting ridiculous. We have calls. We have guys from Milwaukee taunting the bench. Ferdinand taunting the bench of the Mustangs. No call. No call as Milwaukee taunts Chicago. We have a yellow card on Miguel Vaca. We've had calls, and I'm not saying this for the Chicago Mustangs. This goes for both teams. The Mustangs have been called for fouls that even Norman was standing with me. We don't even know what the foul was for. No one's touching anyone. Nothing clarified. Then we have Milwaukee doing the same thing as a Mustang player was doing. They're getting called for it. I give them credit for being consistent, but let's call fouls, not phantom calls. That's the problem I'm having right now, trying to understand this. And this is where the communications between the refs, I like that they meet up, but what if they're meeting up and they're still getting the call wrong? This just doesn't make any sense. So we got to figure this out. Now an opportunity for the Mustangs, and now we're going to have a blue card. He comes in with the high boot. Yes, Jesus Flores comes in with the high boot, no doubt. But he got the ball though. That's the problem I have with this call now. Now, and you can hear, listen, if you think I'm being a critic of the ref, just listen to the fans. I'm even watching the Milwaukee fans in the corner, and they're getting upset. And look at, this is how you lose control of a game. Some would argue, no, this is the way, here you go. He came in with the high boot, but it looked like he got the ball from that angle. Let's see here. It was a little too quick to see, but here's a penalty shot, and these refs got to be careful because now they're really playing with fire. They are really playing with fire. You have Milwaukee Wave players that are even getting mad on calls. You're getting Mustang players that are obviously frustrated already. They're getting mad with calls. The fans on both sides of the aisle, they're getting upset. Let the boys play. Let the boys play. This is indoor soccer. Ferdinand now with the ball at his feet. He makes one move, he shoots, and he scores, and it's back up to a 5-goal lead for the Milwaukee Wave. Just easy tap in there, nothing obviously that you can do if you're the Mustangs or Jesus Flores. It's a one-on-one situation, and that's all it is. (9-4), and the momentum, and there you go again. Milwaukee Wave, tip the hat to Milwaukee Wave. Mustangs score. And like I said in the beginning of the game, the Wave are so good at getting a goal back within 2 minutes. Mustangs scored with about 3:20 left in this quarter. It's 125 about left in the quarter. That's about 2 minutes right there, and Milwaukee Wave score again. Matos with a bad pass. And here comes Camarena. Matos makes up for it. And not going to say much, folks. Let the guys play. That's all. That's all I can say. We're playing the indoor game. It's supposed to be a physical game, and I'm saying that for both teams. Let the guys play. Opportunity that's missed wide by Toch. Toch with a shot and a save by Flores. Is that going to be a foul? Well, they're the same team going against each other. No, it's not. We can have some contact. Now Taylor Bond with a cheeky little play over his head. And the restart for Milwaukee. Toch, Matos, Dennison, shot and blocked away by Pichardo. 2-1, and we go to the fourth quarter. No. I don't know about that one. That I'm not sure about. We're going to have to look at that. I'm pretty sure that there was, we're going on 1 second right there. We're going to have to get a replay with the clock. And there's no review in this. It's what the refs call on the field. And I don't know if we have an opportunity to get a replay with the clock on top or not. But here you go. Here you see this. Bennett tips it in. There, no goal. Refs got together. Not too much of an objection by the Milwaukee bench at all. So here's what we have on store for you in the fourth quarter. It's a 9-4 Milwaukee Wave over your Chicago Mustangs. We have a fresh 15 minutes left on this clock. A straight 15 minutes. Chicago's down 5 goals. Last time we were in the Sears Center, the Mustangs scored about 7 or 8 goals in the fourth quarter against the Syracuse Silver Knights. Will we see the same comeback that we saw against Syracuse Silver Knights, Norman?
Well, anything is possible. I mean, we still have 15 minutes of play. And, you could be on top 1 minute and, thinking you got the game in the bag and, things could change. But, we got to keep in mind that Milwaukee has been a tough team for Chicago in this season. And obviously Chicago's really got to up their game right now and, create spaces, take more shots. Because once the clock is ticking, that's when obviously Milwaukee wants the clock to tick. Chicago wants to put in as many goals as they can before the 15 minutes are over.
Coach Gamboa, this is where he shines. It's so obvious that he shines in this moment. Reason being, we've seen it. Not only a few weeks ago where he comes out and gets his guys to score as many goals as they did against Silver Knights. We're sitting here, and let's be honest, we thought that game was Syracuse. We thought it was over. We thought, all right, have a great Christmas, have a great Happy New Year. We'll see you next year. And then the Mustangs come out of nowhere and just start pouring goals right and left. Obviously, Milwaukee has seen that tape, but Coach Gamboa has more than one trick up his sleeve.
Right, exactly. And like you said, we still have 15 minutes of soccer to play, and anything can happen because we've seen the Mustangs come back from a deficit, tie the game, and end up winning. So if there's a team that can do it, it's definitely the Mustangs.
What did the Silver Knights not do, though, we must point out, is they did not keep possession. They were not smart with the ball, and that forced, and that was all due because of the pressure that the Mustangs kept putting on the goalie and the defenders while they were passing, leading to easy goals. Milwaukee's got to find a good balance of keeping the ball in their own zone and the offensive zone to milk the clock. For the Mustangs, they need to keep the pressure up as much as possible.
Yep. Because sometimes when you're ahead, that's sometimes dangerous. You can relax, and a team like Chicago has the ability to come back.
Just like this, Taylor Bond doing a great job opening the fourth quarter, putting pressure, causing a turnover. There goes Rojas. Oh, that's a blue card. Blue card, there it is. There you go.
Good call. Here's an opportunity for Chicago to capitalize on this. Because now they'll have a full squad. Clock gets stopped at 14:39, which is exactly what Chicago wants.
Yep, exactly. And a blue card to add on top of that. So not only does the clock stop with the free kick, the Mustangs have a 2-minute penalty. Or not penalty, power play.
Power play. So they need to execute and score quickly.
Yes.
So that there's less ticks off that clock.
Pee-wee. we're back to 5-on-5.
We got Ephraim.
Just a little bit of whiff there by Taylor Bond.
Yeah, we haven't heard too much from Martinez this game, huh?
Yeah, not really. Quiet night.
It's been a quiet night for him.
Oh, that's a really dangerous play.
That was very risky.
Can't give up a shorthanded goal. If you give a shorthanded goal here, I hate to say it, but game's over. The deflation of a team after that.
Yeah.
Is,
I mean, they have an
much.
uphill battle right now as it is. You know, they cannot give up any goals because that would just, you know, that would almost be like a moral, you know, just bring down the moral. They got to really keep their spirits up, focus on moving the ball, and see if they can get it in the net and see if they can get some sort of momentum going.
Shocked that we haven't seen the sixth attacker against the Silver Knights. Coach Gamboa put sixth attacker there, I believe, in the first half.
And let's not forget, Chicago was the first one to score tonight.
Yes, that's easy to forget when you see a score 9-4, which I believe was the total of last game.
You are absolutely correct.
Between these two in this arena.
The exact same score that we have right this second is how it ended in the last when they last faced each other.
And Ian Bennett had about 7 of those goals. Think about that too.
Yeah. This guy likes to collect goals wherever he goes. He's definitely a player that you have to stay on top of because he's very quick. He knows how to play away from the ball, and he knows how to position himself. And obviously, once they feed him the ball, he's always dangerous.
10 seconds left on the power play. Not many chances here for the Mustangs in these 2 minutes. Taylor Bond. Ian Bennett playing it down. And a bad clearance and a shot that goes wide. Flores at his own yellow line, looking at options. Dumps it down. Trying to find Dos Santos, can't. Ball back to midfield. Bond. Oh, nice move to the inside. Takes a shot with his right foot, gets blocked away.
I'm sure Dos Santos would like to put another ball in the net because he's got 2 goals tonight, him and Taylor Bond.
Get that hat trick. All right. That was more of a 50-50 ball, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, that was a good call. Well, Chicago's got it. They need every break they can get right now.
Exactly. Chicago fans are saying, yeah, that's a foul, that's a foul. Milwaukee fans go, no, that's no foul. Keep the clock running. Now there's the high volume number of shots that's going to happen. Once again, it's not a bad thing for the ball to go out of bounds for the Mustangs if they're shooting it out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
It's stopping the clock. They get an opportunity to try to cause a turnover right here and reset. There you go. Wow.
And you know what? In a way, you know, the pressure's kind of like on Milwaukee to hold on to that lead because, you know, Chicago, they're going to be pressuring a lot and coming after them. You know, so every game they gotta keep their guard up.
Yeah. Ball sent down by Milwaukee again. They lose possession. Milwaukee kind of, believe it or not, scrambling a little bit. And now we got another foul.
I think Willow's down.
Willow goes down.
He's holding his face.
It's not a game until Willow goes down. We always see Willow down on the ground at least once. And I can't think of a time tonight where he's been down.
Right. Well, one thing I do miss about Willow tonight is seeing him do that flip that he always does.
We haven't seen that for a while. I love to see a Willow flip. And look at it. And now, blue card and another break for the Mustangs. Lemos with no composure at all right there.
Exactly.
That was a bad play, but a great play for the Mustangs.
Yeah.
You're up 5 goals. What are you doing getting involved after the whistle?
You can't play like that if you expect to win games or to hit the number 1 spot, because this is a race for the number 1 spot right now, because we have 3 teams in the division that are only 2 games away from the Rampage. And obviously that's Chicago, that's the Mustangs, Milwaukee, and the Comet. So we'll see what happens. Taylor Bond had gone down. He seems to be limping a little bit. He held on to his right leg.
Taylor Bond's been getting beat up all game tonight.
Right.
Had something with his neck, had something with his leg now, his side. He'll be taking an ice bath or a hot tub after this game.
Yeah, one of the things that the fans don't really get to see is how beat up all these players are after the game. We see them running around and doing their thing out here, but after the game, it takes a toll on the body.
Especially when you do a slide tackle, or even if you just accidentally slide on this turf, it's not like grass. It's like a old school Astro turf that you'd see like the Astro Dome would have. This stuff's unforgiving. It will burn. It will leave a really bad burn on your body, a bad mark that will stay for days, if not weeks, maybe months at sometimes.
Oh yeah, I remember playing in AstroTurf.
Ball gets dumped down. Luckily, this is a little more, there's more cushion, so it's okay for your legs, but the surface itself is not forgiving.
The thing is when they're playing, it's easy to ignore the pain or the aches. It's once the game's over and you cool down, that's when the body starts feeling.
Right after the effects of the shower or the ice bath or the hot tub, once you get dressed back in your normal clothes, you feel it.
You feel it.
Especially when you get out of the car. You try to make that one move out of the car and you're like, I didn't feel that pain before, when I left to the field today.
Right, exactly.
There's a shot, and Lemos with a nice save. Coming up on 9.5 minutes to go in this game. Still a steep task for the Mustangs to come back in this game. Bond has the ball, giving it to Dos Santos. Dos Santos looking for the hat trick. Nice pass. Oh!
It's a great
Lemos with a lucky save there as his back foot stops the ball from going in.
And those are the kind of shots and those are the kind of opportunities that Chicago has to create. They have to open up the defense a little bit more so that you can make those passes and position yourself to score goals.
Penalty is all over with. Mustangs running out of time. High boot. Mustangs get a free kick here.
Let's see if the Mustangs can capitalize on this right now. Clock stopped at 8:36.
Pee-wee! Exactly what the Mustangs needed. A free kick goal. Not 1 second comes off that clock. 8:35, the Mustangs down 4, and here they come. What a shot by Pee-wee Ortega. Where'd that come from?
It's a beautiful shot. He right in the right hand, hit the post and went in, which was perfect. There's no way the goalie could have gotten to that shot.
I guess that saying's right. Height doesn't measure, what was it? Height doesn't measure confidence or something like that, or power. I've seen something like that. And he embodies that perfectly. It's unbelievable. He's full of confidence, full of power for such a little guy.
And hopefully that'll be the shot in the arm that Chicago needs right now to continue scoring, because you're only down 4 games and you have 8 minutes and 20 seconds left.
And now we got a blue card and a power play for Milwaukee.
And Milwaukee, they're pretty good at capitalizing on these power plays. You know, they come out winners whether they score or not, because if they don't score, that's 2 more minutes off the clock.
You're looking at 6:20 and a 9-5 game, or you're looking at 10-5 with about anywhere from 7 to 6 minutes left in this game. So it's a win-win.
Right. Exactly.
And
I don't think Flores is happy.
You can see the fans. You can see the fans down there giving it to the referees.
Yeah, there was an exchange of words there. I mean, one thing, when you're so close to the field, it's even more intense.
Oh, yeah. We're so far away from the field. You know, we could still feel it from up here, but it's nothing like being down there. You know, we haven't really seen Chad Vandergrift tonight, and there's a shot and a near miss by Milwaukee.
Yeah.
As I was saying, Chad Vandergrift on the official roster tonight for the Milwaukee Wave, a big time defender for Milwaukee, has not played really at all tonight. Ferdinand to the middle, trying to find Bennett. Bennett misses.
Milwaukee's still working on that clock.
And that's the double-edged sword that you're playing with right there. With the Mustangs, you get a blue card.
Yeah.
You get a blue card, and like you said, the worst case scenario, you still have a 4-goal lead with 9:20 to go, or you score within that 2 minutes, you're up 5, and now 10-5 with 7:22 to go.
Yeah. Definitely an uphill battle for Chicago right now. Definitely a uphill battle. You know that Flores is definitely not happy.
And Milwaukee Wave, how many times have we seen it with these 5 goals that Chicago has scored? Within 2 minutes, there's an answer. They don't wait 10, 20 minutes to get a goal back. They get it right away. Right away.
Yeah, Milwaukee's like we said earlier, is a top scoring team. And, you know, they have the personnel to put the ball in the net, and they know how to capitalize on power plays.
Yeah, it's a rough feeling for a Mustang fan right now, and 2 Mustang announcers. I know Norman's going to be going over to the Spanish broadcast to finish up the game, but man, you know, you watch this game and exactly what you didn't want to happen if you're the Mustangs. A goal for the home team, and then right away, right after, a goal for the away team. Seems like it never fails for Milwaukee. They do the exact same thing over and over again. Taylor Bond will score a goal. Douglas Dos Santos will score a goal. And without even a second to have really a lead, like the 1-0 lead that we had early in the game, that 1-0 lead ends up being a 2-1 lead for Milwaukee within 2 to 5 minutes. It's a tough thing. It's a tough thing for fans of the Mustangs. Bobby Lunchar is coming in here. We're just trying to, if it sounds choppy, the broadcast, it's because we're trying to move some things around here. Bobby, I know you have a special guest coming in here, so why don't you bring in your guest.
I do. I got actually one of my best friends that was awarded for recognition for his community to the service. Guy Calipari, head coach of Wheaton Warrenville South, actually the boys coach and the girls coach. Thanks for coming, Guy.
Pleasure, Bobby. Thank you for having me here tonight. It's a great atmosphere.
So you're familiar with this game, coming from Canada. Ian Bennett, these guys scoring goals on us left and right.
It's fast, and even though the score at times looks like it's getting away from you, in this game, there's always time.
Well, I'm glad that you're here with us, hanging out with us, all the stuff that you do in the community. Why don't you just tell us a couple of things that you guys have done with the kids?
Well, I appreciate that. With the PepsiCo Showdown, we have a service arm extended from that tournament. We do all kinds of things in the city, collecting clothes, shoes, filling pantries up in the community. A little bit closer to home, we do painting jobs, service jobs, gardening jobs. We have a program where we buy nets for malaria in Africa. We send uniforms there. There's another program we do where we have soccer balls for a underprivileged soccer camp that we provide for. Anything that we can do to help kids get through, both in and off the field, is something that we want to do.
One of the things, too, that's close to my heart is that you guys have a great mentoring program for a lot of the kids that are making that transition from middle school coming into high school. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, we do have especially on the girls' side, we have a little sisters program where our girls will communicate, correspond, invite to, go watch to the U12 girls in the community and try to bridge that gap that, for a lot of girls, especially moving into the high school environment, can be somewhat of a threatening, anxiety-ridden situation. So we try to close that gap a little bit so there's a lot more comfortability as they transition into that part of their adulthood.
I mean, that's a great program. You got all the kids connected, making that transition, moving up.
And we're going to interrupt that great interview you guys are going with right there, but the Mustangs just scored a goal, bringing it in to a 10-4 deficit with 5:11 to go. The Mustangs now have an opportunity here to totally take advantage of this game. They cannot.
I'm trying to bring some of the Canadian to our side. Maybe we get lucky scoring some goals
Ian
here.
Bennett, right?
I said that, didn't I? I'm trying to jinx that other side a little bit. Okay.
We got the better Canadian, is what you're saying, up here?
Yeah, he played for the Canadian national team. One of the top goal players here in Chicago. A great friend. And a great honor to call you my friend, my friend.
Appreciate it, Bobby. Thanks for having me here tonight.
All right, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Seriously, he was my principal in Maine Town.
Maine South guy, absolutely. That's it.
I was on his principal advisory and everything.
Oh, awesome. Great guy.
What part of Canada are you from before you even broadcast?
London, Ontario.
Family's from Hamilton.
Hamilton, yeah. I got tickets to the theater. Hamilton.
We got the ball. We're right back. Sorry, we were having our guest exit. So we're back to the game now. And Camarena has the ball, dumping it down with 4:30 to go. Sorry, as we're once again in the meat time of the game here, where the Mustangs are going to try to make their way back. Here we go. Flores to Dos Santos. Ball's kicked away by Ruggles. Yeah, sorry. Still trying to organize everything up here in our press box area. After the interview, we had concession stand folks coming behind us. We had guests coming in, coming out. So now we are all ready to go. All systems go up here in the press box. Ephraim Beard giving it to the sixth attacker, Pee Wee Ortega. 4 minutes to go. A goal per minute is what the Mustangs need. Vaca with a far pass to Wheelo. 3:40 now. Shots need to start going on net. And there's one. It's a good effort by Bond. Just couldn't get everything he wanted on it. There's a ball going towards the net. Wheelo there. Wheelo is right there to bring the ball right back up again. Vaca with Ortega to Wheelo. Camarena to Bond. Bond to Camarena. Camarena. Loose ball. And then we get a foul. And here we go again with the restart for the Wave. And we have a timeout by Milwaukee. Milwaukee takes a timeout with 3:14 to go left in the fourth quarter. Not sure what Milwaukee really wants to talk about, but this helps out the Mustangs in a big way. Yes, there's just a little time left in this game, but they get to draw up some plays. They get to draw up some plays because of the timeout that was taken by the away team in the Milwaukee Wave. Coach Gamboa lives for moments like this, like I've said in games past. He has his drawing board out. Going to see what he can draw up on that board of his with his draw erase board. Now he's just pumping up his guys, actually. He doesn't even have the dry erase board in hand, it looks like. He did. Okay, he did. I was going to say, from what it looked like, it just looked like he was pumping up his guys, but then as he came out of the huddle, you could see a play drawn up there. And how about that? Coach Gamboa, down 4 goals, walks towards the bench, and a couple of young fans behind the bench are hitting the glass, yelling at Coach Gamboa. Instead of not acknowledging them, Coach Gamboa gives them a high five up on the glass. That's the type of family attitude that we have here at the Chicago Mustang organization. Whether you're down, whether you're up, whether you're, heck, in between, Mustangs are there to lift you up. Even on a day like this where the game's not over, but they're down 4 goals, they're willing to give a high five to a fan. They're willing to, as much as it might be hard to smile when you're down, they'll give a kid a smile. They'll give a family a smile, and that's what they do here. It's just such a great family attitude and atmosphere that's promoted here in the Mustangs. And you hear Bobby Lonchar say it all the time. Well, just got an update on the NFL scores. I got to say, my Patriots, I got to love it, as they're beating Houston right now. Now Rojas, coming up with 3 minutes to go, turns it over. A nice little play. Milwaukee really trying to waste that time now. They really want possession back. Bond twisting, turning. Rojas gets taken down, no call. And Ian Bennett just going to dump it all the way down, waste a couple more seconds on the clock and regroup. Ortega with 2:40 now. Dos Santos, definitely the player of the game tonight for the Mustangs. Probably the best game he's had in a Mustang uniform since joining a couple of years back. 2 goals tonight. That is his career high inside of the Sears Center. Ortega now again with the reset. Gonna play it down to Wheelo. Wheelo takes a shot that gets blocked away. Ball dumped down, but nice play by Vaca to keep it in. Taylor Bond with Rojas. Vaca to Wheelo. Wheelo with the shot that goes high. And there's a header by Rojas, and he scores. It is 10-7. Do not change anything at home. Keep the game online. Keep watching it. Look at this here by Wheelo. A left-footed shot. Misses near high side. Rojas in perfect position to head that ball into a wide open net. And your Mustangs are only down 3 with 2:04 to go. I haven't heard the fat lady sing yet. Now Ian Bennett is going to start it up here for the Wave. Watch the Mustangs run after this ball here. There goes Dos Santos running right after that ball. Under 2 minutes now to play here in the Sears Center. Milwaukee trying any way possible to run this clock out. Mustangs battling everything they got. And that one goes up about 15 rows into the crowd as Ian Bennett dumps it. Wheelo giving it to Ortega, 1:43 to go. Ortega gets blocked by Ian Bennett. Ortega back to Wheelo. Wheelo to Gonzalez. Ortega with Wheelo. Wheelo loses it to Bennett but keeps the ball in. And here comes a 2-on-1. Could be a 2-on-2. Great hustle by the Mustangs to make it a 2-on-2. Pulling it back. And there goes Vaca. Vaca gets taken down. And we have a blue card coming out with 1:12 to go. Hang on, folks. Take that seatbelt. Strap it in because we are in for one heck of a bumpy ride. $1:12 to go in the Sears Center. It's a 5-on-4 power play. Mustangs have to score literally right away. 12 seconds to that one. If they could score in 12 seconds, they could get 2 goals in a minute, no question. They won't have much time to get this one in, but they'll have to attack fast. Ortega to Vaca. Vaca with the shot. Wheelo with the shot. And everything gets blocked away. Back to midfield. Here goes Ortega. Ortega playing it down to Dos Santos. Dos Santos now back to yellow line. We have a late foul here. And Milwaukee getting all upset because they wanted an advantage played. I honestly wouldn't be too mad if I was Milwaukee. You're getting the ball back with 57 seconds left, and you could waste some time. Lemos keeps talking to the crowd. I don't know if people are giving it, like, really yelling at him or he's yelling at the crowd. I have no clue what's going on, but he's all over the place tonight. But I guess when you're standing on your head like he is, you could do what you want. Ball dumped down to Ortega. Ortega quick. The whole Mustang team has to be quick. Vaca to Dos Santos. Dos Santos with a pass in the middle. Ball still bouncing all around. Still 50-50. Ortega takes a shot. Finds Bond. Bond kicks it out of bounds. And it looks as if this night is coming to a close with the Mustangs be taking the loss, unfortunately. Ball dumped down again, unless barring some type of miracle. And oh, that might be it. They gotta go. Keep going, Vaca. Go, 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 Miguel. Plays it off to Bond. To Wheelo. Wheelo just had to take a shot right away. Instead, lets it bounce around, and that is going to wind this clock down here with 17 seconds. And your Mustangs are appealing. Lemos has got to take it easy down there. I'm sorry. I got to admit, I'm a fan. But this guy's yelling at the crowd. He's almost breaking his hand against the glass. You're about to win the ball game, buddy. I don't know what you're so upset about. I mean, I wouldn't be trying to break my hand up against the glass trying to get the ball. And there you go. You got all upset and you let up a soft goal. I give you credit, and that's what happens. I'm good with it. I'm good with it. But that's just a little too late for the Mustangs, as the final 5 seconds are going to wind down, and Mustangs going to go to 0-3 against the Milwaukee Wave. Shot blocked off, and there's the final horn. Look at this now. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Now we're going to start getting a fight here in the Sears Center. We're not going away yet, folks. We're not going away yet, folks. And here we go. Now we're getting all upset. Now this is a rivalry here. This is a rivalry here. Cameras are rolling. Both teams going back and forth. And this is what it's all about. Peter Graham is even in it. Peter Graham is even in it. And here we go. Lemos getting into it with Mijatovic. Lemos has got to he's got to tone down. Lemos has to tone it down and stay out of it. He knows what's going on, and he sees what's going on. Instead of trying to diffuse the situation, he is getting in someone's face and talking. He should be Hey, you know what? There's got to be suspensions going on for both sides if this is what's going to happen. Now we have Lemos. Lemos is talking to the crowd. He's yelling at the refs. He's punching the boards. Now he's getting involved with Pee Wee Ortega and other guys. Get off the field. Go back to Milwaukee. You won the game. Game over. Finished. Instead of defusing the situation, they want to go back up to, I believe it was Rojas, whom I did not see. I'm going to be honest. I didn't see it. I think it was Ferdinand saying that he threw an elbow. He might have threw an elbow. I understand it. Game's over. Even the ref got in there and said, we're defusing the situation. Instead, we have 5 or 6 guys from Milwaukee come off to have a confrontation. Obviously, the Mustangs are going to come out and stick up for themselves. And then we got Lemos, who had a great game, but this guy in the final minute wants to go crazy, punching the boards, yelling at some of the fans down over here. And then he starts getting in the face of some guys. Something's got to happen. That's just not right.
Yeah, this was completely uncalled for. The game was just about over. There's no reason for this. Definitely no reason for this kind of confrontation, obviously. Tempers are high, but you got to, you're a professional. You got to keep yourself in check.
And don't get me wrong. It's on both sides of the aisle. This is not. I'm not just blaming Milwaukee Wave. We have Stefan Mijatovic going in there and trying to ruffle some feathers too. Instead of defusing the situation, they let it go.
Exactly. Well, it just comes to tell you what kind of rivalry these teams share. This is the 3rd game they've played, and obviously Chicago has not been able to get that monkey off their back. They've lost 3 games against Milwaukee, 2 at home and 1 away. But obviously it's uncalled for by both teams. Let's just keep it clean. Let's have fun. And let's not get into this kind of situation. It doesn't look good for the players. It doesn't look good for the teams or the league.
Right. Well, your Mustangs dropped to 0-3 against the Milwaukee Wave. They'll have one more chance at the end of the year to defuse this situation. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Hopefully 2017 is kind to you. There's still a long, long way to go and a great year. Have a good night, folks.
I'm Bobby Luncharn from the Chicago Mustangs, the general manager. Go to our website, ChicagoMustangsPro.com, and you can order a shirt in any color with your logo from your foundation. And we'll be donating some of those proceeds back to your community. Thank you for following us at ChicagoMustangsPro.com and like us on Facebook.
Yo, Negro Sandoval, les recomiendo AM Loans para todos sus préstamos hipotecarios y bienes y raíces. Vamos, Mustang.
¿Qué tal? Les habla su amigo Willow Martínez, número 10 de los Chicago Mustang, recomendándoles a Toncar Autopartes, donde encontrarás lo que buscas para tu auto. ¡Vamos, Mustang!